everybody. Welcome to Let's Dish. I am Jennifer Roscoe, and I like to eat. That actually probably could have been the name of this show. But I like to eat, and I like to talk about food, because I think when you hear the story behind a dish, it makes it taste even that much better. When you hear the love that went into creating that dish and executing it, that's why we're here, because I want to talk to chefs and bakers and cooks about why they do what they do. Joining me now is the owner of Maze. If you've been in Champaign for any amount of time, you've been to one of your locations. This is Armando Sandoval. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I know you have a very busy life, and Maze doing big business out there at the train station in Champaign.
Well, right now we're in the patio season, so we have a lovely patio, and so it keeps us busy during the summer.
You've got that spot. You've got the spot over at the Union. You said is actually doing a big business right now too.
It is. It is. We have all the new student registrations, so we get to introduce the new students to food in the Champaign-Urbana area.
Well, Armando was so sweet to say, absolutely, I would come over to our little kitchen here, and I said, okay, I want you to teach me something that means something, what inspires you. So why did you want to bring this to us?
This, right now, the season is the season of it. So every time it happens every year, it just brings me to my childhood in Mexico, where I grew up with my grandmother. So we have zucchini blossoms, and those are the things that right now they're flourishing. So I have a lot of my customers and friends that call me, and they're like, I have zucchini blossoms, you want them, that and corn smut a little bit later on. But that brings me back to my grandmother. My grandmother, one of the first dishes that she would make for me, she would ask, yeah, that's
your abuelita.
Mi abuelita. She would always, mi abuelita Nica is her name. So, so she would always ask, do you want a quesadilla? And then of course I would say yes. And she would say, okay, go pick them. So I would basically go across the field, pick a couple of them. She would make a fresh handmade tortilla, a little bit of cheese, zucchini blossom, and then pasote, and that was it.
Because you said when you go visit grandma, your abuelita, you can't just show up. You show up, and you better work.
Well, she's an old school lady. She was an old school lady, so in order for us to talk or get into conversation, it was basically doing something. So whether it was going to see the cows or cleaning out wells or anything at all, and that's when you had the most interesting conversations. If you sat her down, she would become quiet because she would associate sitting down to being lazy. So there are times where we show up and she would be knitting, and I would say, what are you doing? She's like, oh, here being lazy. I'm like, abuelita, you're sitting down and you're still doing something, right? But for her, you had to keep busy all the time.
I like her already.
Yes.
Okay, so tell us about these zucchini blossoms, because I think not so many people, maybe in central Illinois, know a lot about them.
Yes, so they spread before the actual zucchini. So even I have some that are attached to a little bit of a little piece of zucchini.
Can I pull one out?
Yeah, pull them out.
And show?
Yeah. So these are just the flowers. So the other ones we use them for the restaurant when we chop the zucchini. So we mix it with the blossoms as well to give it a little bit more texture.
Okay, so none of this is going into.
That is. We're opening it up and we're gonna put it in the quesadilla for you.
Okay. All right. So what do we have?
So these are the ones that I already took the stem off. So we're gonna open them. You can open it, and you'll see the colors. And once you put them in the quesadilla, it'll release all the flavor.
Okay. And so do these need to be where you grew up? Were they planted or they just grow wild?
Yes.
Or?
So my grandfather, he was an old school farmer, so Pierre Vox, and we would plant corn. And every other step, so we would take a step and put 3 kernels, and then take another step and put 3 kernels, and every other step we put zucchini pumpkin seeds.
Okay.
So part of the whole harvesting would be harvesting zucchini blossoms and also harvesting corn.
And does that help the crop be more successful when it's not just all of the same in a line?
It is. I've been able to connect right now my childhood with a lot of the things that my grandfather did just for tradition, just by meeting more farmers. Lately, I've had my group of friends have become more and more farmers. And it's really, really interesting because one of the things that, they go very technical. So that's an uncle of mine, and that's exactly how I grew up. That's guiding a couple of pair of oxes and planting corn. and that's, you know, you can see in the back end there's the part of the town. So no combines or anything. So now when I get a combine with one of my friends, I just geek out, you know, because it's just the whole where I grew up and where I'm at right now. It's just so different, but at the same time so similar. You know, I've asked, you know, my friends about you know, they'll explain the technical aspects of planting zucchini with corn. And one story that I recently told one of my friends is that my grandfather believed that the ox gave a certain help to the plant. And I told him the story, and he, you know, and then a couple of weeks later he called me. He's like, Armando, I found out why. Apparently, there's a bacteria that the cattle or the ox releases, and it helps the crop.
Really? And you don't get that with a combine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that little aspect of it was so amazing, because for me it's just a childhood memory, and for them, and they can find the technical aspect of it, which makes it even better.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That picture we saw of you in the cowboy hat.
Yeah.
And the hat. And when you go back to Mexico,
That's the standard uniform. So
That's the uniform.
that hat specifically
There you go.
is very specific to the region that we're from.
And you didn't tell us what region.
So
Where is this?
I grew up in Guerrero. It's the same state. Guerrero is known for Acapulco, the beaches, but we're more inland. We're like 8 hours inland.
Okay.
So I was surrounded by hills, and a river went through the town, and that's actually why my wife is the one that came up with the name of the restaurant, because she said, you know, you grew up around cornfields. This is, or used to be, a cornfield community. Why not call it Maíz? And I said, and she showed it to me, and I said, but you know, it has the E. She's like, well, that's the scientific term, and since it's a university town, I think, you know, people would appreciate that.
That was very smart.
It is
And
very
This is the view from your grandma's house?
Yeah, so that's me standing on my grandmother's porch and looking out. That's the beginning of the rainy season, so everything becomes alive, and that's when you get, you know, more food, mushrooms, zucchini blossoms,
very green.
cheeses and everything. Oh yeah, my God, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful. Imagine waking up to that every morning.
Well, it was even like my grandmother. Her house is clay tile on top, so when it would rain, we would sometimes wake up with a little tiny droplets, you know, of water sneaking in, and just the noise of it, and it's just, I mean,
That's
it
the
was home.
best sleeping weather.
I think so.
I love falling asleep to a rainstorm.
I never had a hard time sleeping over there. I don't know if it was because my grandmother worked me to that, or because of that, but either or. Yeah, it was a combination.
Rain,
A combination of stuff.
exhaustion.
Yes.
Okay, but really quick, I do want to talk about. We talked about maize, maíz,
Yes.
because I've had it both ways. If we're going to your restaurant, what do we say?
I say maíz.
Okay.
Maíz, yeah. So, but you can't imagine, especially a little maíz. People would come in, and the first question would be, you know, how do you pronounce it?
Right, because
Yes.
we want to do it.
Because
right.
they were actually arguing about it. So any given day, I would choose one, and the other person would be like, "See, I told you." You know? And so it was like I would be settling disputes about the name. Which for me, as long as you're saying, you know, talking about the restaurant, I'm more than okay.
Right,
with it.
keep the debate going.
Yes,
And
yes.
then they're going to say, "Well, Armando told me it's maize."
Oh no, that's been
Armando
used.
told me
Yes.
that it's maíz.
Yes, that's been used. You know, so that's one of the
Either way,
the
it's
backups.
good.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Either way is good. All right. Well, that's good to know. So anyway, the point is just go, basically, right?
Please, yes.
Okay. So we've picked our zucchini blossoms.
Yes, correct.
And then what do we do? Are we doing this first, or we're also doing tortillas?
So we're going to do the tortilla. So everything is built
Okay.
on the tortilla.
Yes.
Of course, you know, Mexican culture, tortilla is king. I'm from the southern region of Mexico. So in the southern region of Mexico, it's corn is king. To the north, you know, the states that are closer to the U.S. is more flour tortillas. My palate, it's so distinct that I'll have a burrito now and then, but for me, it's corn. You know,
Me too.
And I have friends that are, you know, they'll talk to me about handmade flour tortillas, and they'll speak, you know, wonders about it. I'm like, yes, I understand, but
there's a but there.
Yes.
I'm the same way. I grew up with flour because I think in America it was mostly flour tortillas when
Yes,
I was
correct.
growing up, right? I feel like lately maybe corn has become more mainstream. Maybe in the past 10, 20 years or something like that. But I prefer corn too.
Okay.
I feel like there's more bite to it.
I think so too, and a lot of flavor. So right now,
Yeah.
for example, we have two versions. So that's the white organic corn, and that's the blue organic corn. This, to me, right here, this one is the one that my grandmother had her way of talking to me, she would say chulada de maíz prieto, which means the beauty of blue corn, or beauty of blue corn, if you want a rough translation. But for me, so every time I look at blue corn, for me, it's my grandmother.
It's
you know?
so much of this when you look
Everything,
at
you know,
it
this whole dish
your
is
abuelita.
yes, for me, the whole dish is her. Just because the way that she would cook it for me, it was just her and I, and it was just a moment, you know, just a moment of sharing, and that's why I never compete with mom anything. So if you tell me my mom, I'm like, that's it. You know, I don't compete with that, because I think that food is always attached with a feeling.
Yeah.
You know, you associate like your favorite dish that your mom made, because, you know, maybe there was the ratatouille effect, you know, like maybe that was a memory that you came in, your mom cooked something for you, and you have attached that memory with the taste. Right? So I never compete with mom's anything. So like when people come into the restaurant, if they tell me it's very close to my mom, for me it's the biggest compliment, you know, because getting close to mom, that's the best way.
Yeah.
Not beating them. I mean, that's never happened yet.
Can I ask, has your grandmother passed?
She has, yes.
Okay.
She,
and what year was that?
it was around 3 years ago. Her life was full. You know, she taught me so much. My grandfather passed 20 years before she passed, and I think that he did that so early because his personality was so big that we didn't really get to meet our grandmother until he passed. I found out she was extremely funny. She was hilarious, but in her own way. Never telling a joke, but just the way she talked.
Interesting.
She was, and then, she actually was here at the restaurant before I opened.
I was going to ask if she ever was able to see your success with her food.
So she was an orphan. So she always had us in her heart certain feelings towards kids that were. I didn't have my father when I grew up, so she always felt like I needed that love from her. So when she came, she saw it, and she helped us even clean onions and stuff. And we tell her, go to the house. We'll be there in a second. She's like, no, I came here to help. So I have a.
She wants to work.
Yes. So that was the first time she came, but she saw it, and I thought she thought it was too small, you know, because then when I got the other one, I went to visit her in Chicago because her health was not as good, and she said, you know, I want to come to your restaurant. And your mom said she was going to take me. She hasn't taken me. And I'm like, you know, come. She came and she saw it, and she put her hand on my cheek, and she's like, now I can die happy. Because for her, you know, I think the little one was too little, and she wanted to see me in something, you know, bigger or more established. I don't know her idea.
Yeah.
But all of those things, you know, her touches, you know, in my life have also transferred to food. And I think that's one of the most amazing things that, you know, that you can take on and even share with people.
Yeah.
You know, because like you said, you know, you're not only sharing a dish, you're telling a story. For me, I'm sharing my culture as well.
From the heart. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's talk about blue, different taste.
Yes.
Very different taste. Okay. We'll be able to do a little taste test.
So not exactly like a humongous change, but the texture of it changes. This one is a lot easier to work with. Okay. The blue corn's a little bit trickier, so I'm gonna have to come up with. I'm very nervous because I don't want the ladies at the restaurant to laugh at. You know,
they're gonna be watching and judging you big time.
Kitchen restaurants are, you know, a big, you know, bubble of like family and things like that.
And egos.
Yes, and so you get teased. And I think I'm trying to, you know, cover my bases so it won't happen that much.
They're sitting back.
Oh yeah.
And they're waiting.
Yes.
All right. So tell me, what's the first thing I should be doing?
So this is a tortilla press, of course. So, you know, we put a little bit of plastic in the middle, just.
And I have to ask, is this how they're making them in your restaurant?
Yes. So this is exactly the one. Yes, and there are bigger ones. The ladies make wonders with these. We are able to do the fajita quesadilla, which is like that big. It's an art. Everything that it's the way they do it. It's just. I mean, I can do a couple of them, you know, which you'll see, hopefully. but it's just the way it's a touch thing. So the way they put the tortilla on a grill counts, because I mean, usually it sticks. So if you don't like finesse it, it'll stick to your hand. So when it breaks, putting it on the grill.
Now I'm nervous. But I'm a first timer, so I shouldn't know what I'm doing.
So you take a little ball.
Okay.
So in the middle, and you just press. Okay.
How many of these are you making a day?
Oh my God.
Or they are making a day, I should say. Not you.
You know, they are making sometimes when we cater. There are times where I go up and I tell them we need 100 quesadillas, or we need 150
And
tacos.
do they give you the evil eye and say, okay, fine,
You know, they've become so good at it that they're like, oh, just 150.
just 150?
Yes. Yes. So they're very. That's one of the reasons that I think the success of Maiz is because of the people that have worked there. We've had so many people from in this 13 years that it's just an amazing collaboration. My job is to sort of keep everyone together, but at the same time, it's doing 300 tortillas in 30 minutes. And now they challenge themselves. Now they're like, oh, okay, we'll do them in 20.
Do they set a timer and how many tortillas can you make in 5 minutes?
It's a challenge. So one of
Okay, so
my
you've been-
biggest challenge is like
Yeah.
turning it, right?
Okay. Because I asked you when you came in, I said, okay, where are the utensils? Oh no.
Right here.
They're right here. You're wearing them.
So the
We
way
have 10 utensils.
we can put cheese on it now.
Okay.
So the way that that it's done then, so this is Oaxaca cheese. Oaxaca cheese is similar to like mozzarella in a way. If you see, so it's very stringy.
Can I taste it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I love me some cheese.
Yes, that's one of my favorites. And then the zucchini blossoms are just, are just placed.
Now, why this kind of cheese? Does it have a good melting? It melts well?
Melting point, yes, and also flavor. Just the flavor of it, it's so intoxicating. It's there's a lot of things that we have similarities in food, especially like within all the cultures. It's just the region gives it a different flavor.
I'm hungry. I'm going to eat some more. I could. Just give me a fork with the bowl. I'd be good.
And this, we actually freeze it just because it goes bad really fast. It's a plant, so we don't use a lot of it. But epazote, it's an herb that we use in a lot of our dishes. We use it in everything that is vegetarian. We use it in our black beans. Yep.
So what is this again?
Epazote. It's a mixture. It's like sort of like something in between basil, oregano, and what else? What is it?
It smells beautiful.
Yes.
I know I smelled it, but I'm going to eat this one so I can put it on there.
So that's essentially the quesadilla. So you let it melt, and then you fold it. When you fold it, everything's gonna start like marrying together. The flavors are gonna come through, and Mexican food. I mean, the way that I remember my Mexican food, it's just very simple, very traditional. You don't do a lot with it, especially if you have good ingredients.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
And having zucchini blossoms from a farm that were picked yesterday morning, it's like, I'm back home, That's why I love being in Champaign. Like I said, the number of farmer friends that I have has grown so much. We did a dinner the other day with it was whiskey and carnitas. But it was so it's a farmer that plants red corn. He produces whiskey from it. And then the spent corn, he gives it to a hog farmer. The hog farmer feeds it to the hogs. They graze all day and get a buzz, they get a little drunk.
They're happy hogs.
Yeah, very happy. They only have one bad day in their lives. And it was, so we did.
I got that joke. I got it.
So we
I'm
did
with you.
we did that all together. So the hog farmer.
That is a full circle
exactly.
moment.
Yep.
And that is using everything.
Yep.
I love that. That is sustainability right there.
So we'll put it here on the side here, just so we can do a blue
what
corn.
would the ladies at the restaurant grade that?
I think they're gonna judge the thickness of it. But to my defense, I'm on TV, so I may be a little bit nervous. But we can do a blue corn so you can taste it as well. I cheat by doing it a little bit thicker. Here.
Okay. Because by doing it thicker, it cooks.
It's
doesn't
easier.
burn.
It's easier to put on the grill.
On the grill.
So the biggest hurdle is getting it on the grill without having to it coming up.
I mean, you did a really good job. But I am not an expert.
You're
But
next. So we're gonna have to. Let me flip this one, and then you can try it.
Okay. Yes.
Because it is, I think that everybody should try it just because it's not easy in the sense, but that's why I think it's an art. Like I said, one of the ladies is actually, she's worked for me 13 years. Another one, 12 years. So it's like a mother, kind of a mother relationship that I have with them, just because, first of all, they've been with me so long, and, they just remind me of home, remind me of my grandmother. And they know all of this, and I'm really, really happy because whenever I come in with, you know what, we just had a catering order, you know, we need 80 tortillas. They're like, don't worry about it.
Got it.
You got it.
They got it.
And that's something that, you know, you can't buy. You know, it's that kind of.
Okay, so because I'm going to have to do this, how did you know when to flip it?
It starts. See at the end.
curl up a little?
Yeah, it starts curling up, and then it starts drying up a little bit as well. The blue corn is a little. Oh.
Okay.
Oh, see
Are they
now they're gonna
laughing?
be
Okay,
laughing.
your uncle's here. He's
Yeah,
laughing.
he's
a little
laughing.
bit.
Yep.
A little bit?
A little bit. So with this, so I got to cheat a little bit. So
let you eat
the
that
ladies do
one.
that as well. They do that. When they do that, I call them remedios. Remedios is sort of like Spanish for remedy. So I'm like, oh, you fix the tortilla without, you
The
know.
cheese covers it up.
It does.
That's your
You wouldn't even
remedy.
notice. If we didn't catch it on tape, you wouldn't even notice.
Now, would you eat these raw?
You could, yeah. So for example, in Nando Milanos, they serve these, and they serve them fried. So if you can, you see the flour, you can stuff it. So they stuff it with ricotta cheese, and then they do a batter, and then they deep fry them.
Oh.
So you can always.
that
so
sounds good too.
that's why it's really. I mean, that's why I think food is really interesting, because someone like an Italian restaurant like Nando Milanos, you know, they're also serving zucchini blossoms.
Yeah, we're going to get them in here too.
Yeah,
I want them to teach me how to make pasta.
Oh,
Right? Wouldn't that be fun?
Oh my God!
All right, that's good. We got to
Yep.
take a commercial break because, yeah, we just flew through
flew by.
that. That was
Yes.
fun. Okay, I am going to try to do this. And for the people working at your restaurant who might be watching it, please don't laugh at me. You can only laugh at him.
Yes, only me.
We'll be right back. All right, we are back. And, okay, I'm going to try.
All right.
Okay, so I'm just doing this.
Yep.
Okay. Is that too much?
No, try it. So do a
Like
ball.
doing
Yep.
a meatball.
Exactly.
Okay.
Then
See, this is fun.
it is. I want
I don't know if I'd want to do 150 of these in 30 minutes.
One of my ideas is to have,
this up.
to have little kids be able to play with it at the restaurant. But my servers think, you know,
They'll throw them.
well, it's just going to become
yeah.
when you press not too hard. So
Did I do too hard already?
no, you should be okay.
Okay, let's see.
So let's open. Yeah, you should be okay.
Okay.
It's a smaller one, but you know, different sizes. So you want to put it, like, sort of put it on your hand.
Okay, so like this?
Yep.
Like this?
Yep.
Okay.
And let's get rid of this.
And then just.
And then,
Oh my gosh. Can I do another one?
of course.
Can we have a remedy?
Yes.
What is our remedy here?
Here we'll.
Are we leaving it?
We'll have it as the side dish. You know?
Okay. Okay, can I do it again?
Yep. So
All right.
on this side, so you want to put it like half on your hand.
Half on my hand.
And then so when you put it on the grill, it's gonna be like sort of like saying "ole" kind of a thing.
Oh, I'm totally saying Olay, because apparently that's the key. Okay, here we
So-
go. So here,
In the middle.
in the
Yep.
middle,
You can press it a little bit and then see if it needs. Yeah, right there.
press and open.
Open. I think that's a good thickness.
Okay,
Here, let
so
me-
half on my hand.
Yeah, give me one. Let me get.
Oh, yeah,
let me
yeah.
remedy this right here.
I'm going to use that at home now. When I screw up the cooking when I'm making something for my family, I need a remedy.
See, and the thing is,
The remedy is let's go out to eat.
whenever I have something different, I tell the ladies, you know, oh, I want this. Like when we did Tlacoyo, you know, I said, you know, Tlacoyo is a tortilla that has beans. So you grab masa, you put beans in the middle, and you fold it, and then you put it on the grill. So what that does is fuses the beans with the tortilla, and it just gives it a whole lot different flavor. So when I tell them, you know, can you do a tlacoyo for me? Like, I don't know what that is. So I had to explain it to them, and then they do it, and I'm like, all right, great, that's it. But then when they put their spin on it, when they start doing them on their own, I'm like, oh my God, you know, they took what I showed
Here,
them.
I want to try to do it.
Just go like this, here, grab it like that.
Oh gosh, now we really need utensils.
well, we'll pick it up right now. It's all good. It's you know, that's part of the process.
Fired or hired? Fired or hired? What's happening? Can I come work for you?
No,
first
we'll
timer.
work on first.
First timer.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, while that's cooking, we can, should we talk about this cheese?
Yes. So the Oaxaca cheese is similar to, like I mentioned, it's similar to like a mozzarella. So that it comes, we cut a piece of it, but they come in big balls.
Okay.
So if you see, there's, you might be able to see how it has a little, see?
Yeah.
Has little strings like this. So it's they make strings like that, and they just wrap it into a ball. And then in order to make the quesadillas, you start going like this. Little bit of-
Literally string cheese.
Yep.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Okay. Now, you could hire me to do this at your restaurant.
That works.
I'm capable of this process.
We need all sorts of help in the restaurant.
Okay, good. All right, do I get to try again?
Yes.
Okay. So
I would suggest like grabbing it like this, putting it in half.
here.
Yep.
Okay. So like this.
Yep.
And then.
And then you just ole.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Ole. Oh, it looks like Pac-Man.
So that's usually that's usually what I'm afraid
All I
of.
had to do was say ole. It was going to be perfect.
Yeah, one of the things is like so in the tortilla world or with the ladies, you know, first of all, they use the tortilla the other way. So they think that I'm crazy that I have it like this.
Oh.
Okay. So and they usually have it the other way, and then their masa is really loose. So their tortillas are really thin, and they use loose masa. And for me, it's really hard because this happens, right? So the more water it has, the less harder it is to work with for someone like me. But for them, it's like, you know, they make really, really soft ones.
Try it.
Yep.
Try it. Okay.
Yeah.
Should I pull up all the edges?
No, just this one. It'll
just
come
this
from
one?
there. Yeah.
Well, you told me that the last time and it really didn't. Okay, ready?
There you go.
Hey.
There you go. See you go.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. I feel like we've been saying the ladies. Let's give them a shout out.
Yes.
Let's go through their names.
Yes. So it's Josefina, Eulalia, and Veronica, another Eulalia, Marta, and of course my grandmother Nika. She's the one that taught me all of this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to them because the tortilla is that is the bones of a Mexican restaurant.
Of course.
Right?
Yes. From especially like
All
the
starts there.
the region. So I grew up in Guerrero, but I also grew up in Mexico City. So the food is like a fusion between that, and of course my wife's family is from Michoacan. My uncle, he's the one that makes the carnitas. He made the carnitas for the event. So all of those things, all of those combinations, you know, they're in the food. And corn for us is just big. You know, there's no flour tortillas at all.
Yeah.
So it's that's my preference.
Yeah.
And now there's a lot, like I also mentioned, there's a lot of corn. Now there's a lot, the Mexican cuisine is expanding because people are trying to recreate dishes that were pre-Hispanic dishes. And in the past we had all sorts of different colors of corn. And people are trying to come up with like different dishes that they can make in order to relive that part of it.
It does look like Pac-Man. Okay, I want to try a blue one now.
Okay.
I feel, okay, but you said this is even harder to work
I
with.
say try a bigger ball, and that
Bigger
way.
than this one?
Yep. Okay. That way it'll be a little bit thicker.
Okay.
And be a little bit easier.
Okay. Here we go.
Yep.
And close, and not too much.
Right there.
Right there.
Yep.
And, okay. All right.
And
this one is for Marta.
There you go.
Marta, I'm going to try to make you
Yep.
proud. Oh, I already lost
do
part
it
of it.
slowly.
Slowly. Ole. A.
There you go. See?
Okay.
Oh, and you know, one of the things that they do, and I see that's why I tell them that they cheat. They'll grab the little piece and put it there,
Man.
and nobody will notice, right?
I want to ask, these zucchini blossoms, where do you get them?
So right now we're getting them from a local farmer, and
So in central Illinois?
Central Illinois, yes.
Oh, where are they grown?
In Urbana. So we're, like I said, you know, my friendships are growing.
Mm-hmm.
So I have friends in Paxton that do them, and it has several people that do them here in Champaign. We're trying to bring everything as close as possible.
Yes.
So the corn, we actually get it from Springfield right now. But the friends that I have, you know, they're growing white organic and blue organic. And we're trying to figure out a way that we can just, you know, drive 10 minutes and pick it up. Mm-hmm. Or being delivered. And we want to get to the point where we can tell our customers, you want to see where the next, you know, your tortillas are going to come, you know, go to this field, you know, which is 10 minutes away.
People love that
yeah.
whole farm-to-table aspect.
Yes, I mean for us, for me, you know, now it's like a concept of it. But one of the things, like for example, this is considered like now a vegetarian dish. But I always joke with people that, you know, I was probably a vegetarian without being a vegetarian. We had meat once a week, probably. And, you know, the time that I spent in the farm, the first 2 years was without electricity. And then the other 2 years were, you know, we did have electricity. So growing up, knowing how to live without electricity.
I know, I was kind of watching, I was eyeing it.
Let me, right there, so it'll be easier.
Ready?
See, nothing happened. There was no,
All right,
no
that
rip
was
or
good.
no anything.
That was good.
Yeah.
I want to stuff this one
Yeah.
too.
So let's.
Should we do it right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the perfect.
Oh,
let's
so this
use
cheese
this one. Yep.
first?
Here we go.
Is that a good
Perfect.
amount?
Yep.
Okay.
And then we're gonna do the zucchini blossom.
The zucchini
Yep.
blossoms.
So it just we open it
it
in.
up.
Yep.
Okay. Just like that?
Yep.
Should I do
There you
two?
go. Yes, please.
Open this one. Ooh, it's sizzling. This pan is
yep.
hot.
And
what
a
else
little
did
bit
you
of the
put?
epazote, the
Okay.
green stuff. Epazote has a really strong flavor, so we want to just do a small leaf.
Is that too
yep.
much?
No, just on the other side. Yep, right here.
Good? That's
Yep,
enough?
that's perfect.
Okay.
And then we let the cheese melt, and then we'll fold it, and you know.
Okay.
Quesadilla is there's a there's a big debate in Mexico City, especially because in Mexico City, if you ask for a quesadilla, since the name is quesadilla, people assume that it has cheese. People from Mexico City say that quesadilla means folded tortilla.
Oh.
So that because of that, it necessarily doesn't have to have cheese, but that's just a Mexico City thing, and there's always a debate. So people that are from the outside of Mexico say they, you know, we're crazy, Mexico City. So it's just one of those debates. But quesadilla is a very typical and very traditional dish that we have in Mexico, and you know that's one of the things that.
You mentioned how where you grow up, it was corn tortillas
Yes.
versus flour, more
Correct.
north. What other kind of foods are more regional to where you grew up?
So one of the funniest ones that I can remember is like the enchiladas. So enchiladas in my town is basically you take a tortilla, dip it in guajillo pepper, put a little bit of cheese, a little bit of onion, wrap it, and then on top of it you put a little bit more onion and cheese. You know, for me those were enchiladas. Until the day that I went to visit my wife's family. So my wife's family in Michoacan, the way they do enchiladas, they use potato, they use carrots.
Vastly different.
Yes, so they saute all of that. They stuff the enchiladas. They still use the guajillo pepper, but they stuff them with the mixture of potato and carrots and all of that. And then, of course, on top of it, they'll put lettuce, they'll put a sour cream, they'll put cheese. And I always joke with my wife, and I said, well, those are like fancy enchiladas. You know, those are not
Right?
my.
It
Those
seems
are
like
not-
a lot more labor intensive.
yeah, and a lot more ingredients,
Yeah.
right? So that's one of the differences. So there's like within the regions of Mexico, the same thing with the U.S. You know, it changes. You know, flavors change, the approach of cooking changes, and stuff like that. So
And I don't think people think about that. For instance, with Italian food, they think, oh, okay, it's spaghetti and lasagna, but the different regions of Italy all have very distinct tastes, and same with Mexico.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
One of my best experience, and this is why I love Champaign, because this is where I get to do this. And I think living in Chicago would have never had the opportunity. My friend that owns or manages Nando's, he brought his family from Italy. And I knew this already when I asked the question, but I said they're from Sicily. And I said, oh, Italian. I told his father. He's like, no. Chiliano. And we had this amazing conversation for 3 hours. I spoke in Spanish, they spoke in English, in Italian, and then my friend would translate the little things that we didn't get. And the similarities that we had, like with food, with everything, it's just amazing. It's just one of those things that, you know, shows us that we have so many things more in common rather than, you know, the differences that we might have, you know.
Yeah.
And I told him, you know, if I get a chance to come back as something different, I would probably choose Italians, you know, because food, the culture is kind of similar. They're family oriented, you know, they're food oriented, and
They
it's
like
just
to eat.
they like to eat.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, and that is why I wanted to do the show. I mean, you just summed it up right there, because food brings people together, and people want to talk about it.
I think so. I mean,
love it.
I don't think you'll ever be in a place where there's really good food and there's an argument, because they're either busy eating or busy talking about how good the food is. you know?
Agreed. Okay, we are going to sit down and eat, so don't go away. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Armando and I are eating our quesadillas, and they are delicious. And now I was going to try, I wanted to do it on camera, but I'm going to try the blue corn and see how it compares. And how do you think it compares while I'm eating?
I think, first of all, texture. They tell me that the blue corn has a higher, protein value. But blue corn is just, again, the connection with my memory. And so it just tastes better.
I would say it tastes, I don't know if milder, if that would be the right word, but I think it's prettier to look at.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's very good. They're both very, very
Yes.
good. And now I'm gonna like it more because you like it more. It reminds you of your abuelita, and I love that.
And at the restaurant, you get the choice. So whenever you come in, you can say blue corn or white corn on anything, on any of the dishes that we have. And I'm working with other farmers to see if we could bring in red corn as like an option as well. And just to make sure that everybody has different taste profiles and they connect differently to different types of tortilla. So for us, this is how I grew up. This is how I remember. So to have a packaged tortilla, it's different. For me, it's a different connection. Sometimes my wife always asks me to bring tortillas home, and of course sometimes I forget. And she's like,
Armando.
yes, well, I get in trouble. And then so we sometimes have packaged tortillas, and it's not the same.
No.
It's just, it's different. It's different. And
It's different.
the thickness of it, and then, so for example, one of the things that makes us different is that we only use one tortilla for our tacos. And the reason is that because it's a handmade tortilla. So it's a little bit thicker, sturdier. And we also do this type of quesadillas deep fried. And the way, it changes,
Yeah.
There's a really famous comedian that she says that Mexican food is really hard to explain to people who are not from Mexico because they say, they ask, what's a sope? Like, sope is a tortilla, beans, meat, and cheese. Like, what's quesadilla? Oh, tortilla, And they're like, what's flautas? Oh, tortilla, but it's rolled,
Yeah.
But everything starts with a tortilla.
Yeah.
And
It's
fun.
all the same ingredients in a different shape.
And it makes a humongous difference. We have a sope, which is an open face tortilla and has beans, the type of meat one, lettuce, tomato. And we have a gordita, which is a little pocket, right? They have the exact same ingredients. They have the same size, same everything. But one you can hold and take a bite, and the other one you got to use utensils. That little difference, people fight over it. They're like, oh, I like gorditas better. That is better. Yep.
Was it hard to close down the Little Maiz?
Little Maiz. It was. It's just because
That was there. We should tell people from 2011.
Correct.
Until what year did it close
May
down?
of this year.
Okay.
Yeah. No, May of.
I mean, we did a story about that. That was
Yeah.
a big deal to close that little place down.
Yeah. So it was just really, really hard. May of this year. I'm saying, yep. It was last year, right? It's been a year already. Oh my God! So Little Maiz has been it's just close to my heart, just because it was my first business, and it was everything that happened there and the way that it happened. It was so organic and so amazing. The people that I was able to meet, the connections that I was able to make. I would have never in my life, hoped or thought of it, because it was, I came here for school, so my major was sociology. So when people would ask, what's a sociology major doing a Mexican restaurant, I said, I'm gonna do my thesis at Little Maiz, because it was such a spot that, it didn't matter who you were. One of the funniest ones was when Guy Fieri came to try the place, and there was a line, and it was full inside. So it wasn't like I could say, oh, no, come right here. We have a special table reserved for you. I was like, sorry, can you wait in line? Or
Guy Fieri.
yeah, and can you wait until somebody gets up in order for you to sit down?
Yeah.
And that type of thing, only here, was it possible. And you can't imagine how many, at one point or another, you had a construction worker, a lawyer, a student, a professor. I've had a lot of a relationship with professors that for me, it's just Kirk, until I make a delivery and I say I have a delivery for Kirk. And then they say, oh, Dr. Sanders? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry.
But he just likes tacos and quesadillas like the next
He's one
person.
of my favorite customers, and he's one of he goes to the union and to the station, so he's very versatile. But when we moved into the union, I said, so is it Dr. Sanders now? And he says, since we're at the university grounds, he says, no, for my friends, it's just Kirk.
Just Kirk. I know someone who ate at Little Maïs lunch every single day. He walked there.
Yes.
You guys would see him walking up. You would know his order every single day.
It's, you know, it was, you
loved
got to see everyone on the spot, and you were able to connect with people. There was no way of walking through the little restaurant without acknowledging or without looking at a person, you know. You had to say, probably excuse me 3 or 4 times, you know, in order to walk through it. But it was just, everything was so direct, and me being in the kitchen, I could see if somebody had a good experience or not, you know, just looking through the little window.
Yeah.
And we didn't need to explain that we made our own tortillas. So people would be waiting to place their order, and they were like, oh my God, you know, they're making tortillas. So all of those things, you know, it was a challenge when we opened the bigger one, because you don't see it, you know. And I think that a lot of times when you're able to see it and smell it, you know, we have a taco cart that we sometimes use, and that thing works on its own. Because people are in line and they're waiting to order, and oh my God, it smells so good. So
they're not getting on a line.
they're
staying there.
yeah, they're already that part of it,
Yeah.
right? And then when they look at the taco and they're like, oh my God, it looks so beautiful, right? So I got 2, and then the final one, the tasting, that's already done. You know,
Yeah.
that's so I cheat a little bit with the taco cart.
Okay, we're going to talk about moving into that big place and the changes that came with that. We'll be right back. Okay, we were talking about moving into the bigger restaurants
Yes.
and the challenges that came with that. What would you say was the hardest thing to get used to?
I had to rely on servers in order to relay the message of who we were and what we did. You know, there were a lot of people that, of course, transferred from Little Maíz to the station. They already knew. But it was funny, you know, because I think that when we closed it down the first time, they were remodeling the whole corner. So we closed it, and then we opened Maíz at the station. And my regulars would come in, and they would say, one regular in particular, he said, you know, what did you change? And I said, nothing. He said, did you change cooks? I'm like, no, they're the same cooks. And he just kept on insisting. He's like, well, it tastes different. And I said, well, maybe because the walls are red, you know. Because it was so crazy, and now I understand it. I think, like I said, you know, I think that certain things that you try for the first time, they're attached to the feeling. You know, Little Maíz was not comfortable. So,
I mean, I ate there, and
but I mean, it was a little bit of a challenge. So you had to sort of like be in the mindset.
you have to be invested in the food.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of it as well. So now you get a bigger restaurant where, you know, somebody else comes to take your order. The plates are different. You know, it's just a lot of things that
It's like you
feel
went
different.
fancy.
That's,
Yeah.
you know, that's what people have said. You know, they're like, they'll look at the 2 rooms and they're like, oh, the blue room looks fancier.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's just the blue room. It's
just blue.
Yeah, the same tortilla, same everything, and same Armando. I mean, you won't. I mean, right now I dressed up for you, see. But usually,
Thank you.
you'll see me in a just a Macy's t-shirt.
Yeah.
You know, my wife, of course, you know, she loves me to be wearing it. She's like, can you wear something else? Yeah. You probably understand. Yeah.
Yes, I get that.
Yeah.
And let's show, we do have a picture of your wife.
Yes.
We want to talk about your beautiful family.
That's my wife, beautiful wife, and of course my beautiful son. Actually, that's one of our customers. But we had, that's one of the things that we liked. You know, one of the things, you know, the little boy.
There's your
That's my
little
son.
boy.
Yes, he's a lot bigger now. He's 7 years old.
Okay.
But one of the things that I've loved about also doing this is that he gets to come into the kitchen and just be part of it. The other day I had to do a big catering order, and I was cooking, and my wife, you know, she was arriving at the restaurant, so I had him with me, and I set him on a little box. I'm like, don't move. And, you know, of course, everybody was helping me. But it gets to a point where I give everybody a taste. You know, I usually, I know who to rely on for certain taste profiles. And so I'm giving everybody a taste. Like, Papi, can I try? And I say, sure. And I give him to try, and he tries it. I'm like, what do you think? And he's like, I think it needs a dash of salt. And, you know, the thing.
7.
And he's 7. And one of the things that impressed me the most is because it needed exactly that. It needed salt.
He knew
but it
it.
just needed a tiny bit.
I say a
A
titch.
dash.
Yeah.
And the fact that he said it in that way, I'm like, oh my God, I'm in trouble.
Has he ever said that he wants to follow in his dad's
Well,
footsteps?
he says that he wants to be a cook, a doctor, a painter, and a fireman.
Oh, Well, he could do it all.
I told him he could do it all. Yeah, he
Yes.
can be a doctor, paint on his free time, be a volunteer fireman, and cook, on his leisure. So.
Do you guys cook together?
Oh yeah, definitely. I have pictures with him, like since he was little. His palate has grown so much that he is like, can we go have octopus? And I'm like, or can I like the scallops this time, or.
This is not a chicken fingers and French fries kid.
One of my favorite chefs was Anthony Bourdain, of course, because I love the way that he ate on the side of the road or in a fancy restaurant. He ate the same way. Yeah. And one time they asked him, if his daughter ate all the crazy things that he tried. And he's like, I don't understand what you mean. In my household, everything is food. So like any little kid, she'll reach for anything on the table. So that's the mentality that I always tried with him. So anything on the table was game. As long as it wasn't spicy, he could try anything. And it's worked, because he eats everything. We went to the Space the other day, and they had a special of octopus. This was my piece for me and for my wife, and he ate the rest of it. So.
He's going to cost you some money in the future.
He is. Yes. But I wouldn't have it any other way.
He doesn't want to order off the kids menu.
No. He usually eats better than me. So we'll go to a place. I'll have a burger, and for him, he'll have the salmon.
Oh my gosh.
So he's very good, and he loves it. And I think the thing that I like the most is him being able to interact with everybody. So when he gets to the restaurant, he knows that he has to go from the dishwasher all the way to the service or the manager.
You say hello to everyone.
And you say hello to everyone. And that's my grandfather, talking in my ear, because you needed to have a good handshake and then good eye contact
all right,
as well.
Armando, I have to say this has just been a delight. I feel like I just cooked and ate with my friend, and it was so nice. So again, maize or maize, it doesn't matter how you say it, you cannot go wrong, and you cannot go wrong with any of the items on your menu. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
It was so fun, and Marta and all the other ladies, I hope we made you proud.
Please.
All right, happy eating, everyone.